ye info me say a pie na man fa mrewa na che say ampaye enwu Ghana ene ye da kosore ya ye hu ya ne say maba wa bi ye press conference kese e wo TikTok ye kokoko tie mu a wo mu since amaye nyina ye asori bia ye friend say Christ Embassy Youth se ka Christ Embassy dia na obi adwene ko Pastor Chris so na we die ni youth ho asem at church no ye say ya te de friend Christ Embassy Youth ewo ayilegon ha eye Accra ebi wo other branches bebre omo eye yi asori ya omo bo adwuma wadere pa na mama bi kire say sa asori mu sofo a woda no sofo abrant ye pa uti mu se fanboy ye friend sofo Enoch said the software no could dia sorry ne ye no enya asem asori ye ka popular church pa o said the omusi dia dia was software na we no ni o se software finger no said bio dia o se software bu na faso na menyi asem ne nka e maya no start ye no wo mu bo mu kro me say omo ye press conference o e na obi e kan de ye nko ne ngote nsem omo de betu dwa no.
Please, when I
light of
joined,
the world.
let's please. I don't want to forget what I want to say. When I joined, Derek asked the question. He said, "Who do you blame?" I blame the pastor because when I started the church, the pastor, that's Irok. When I started the church, there were not a lot of people that were in the church, right? I was part of like the pioneers when he started that church because a friend of mine introduced me to him because he had just moved from being a singer to this, and he agrees that
A rapper.
yes, he agrees that he's part of it because when I made the decision to leave the church, he actually took me to, that was my first time at campaigns. He took me there to explain to me why I shouldn't leave and that he's a sinner and he has fallen short of the glory of God. So me and him, we understand that he's the reason why I left the church. Now, I want to talk about my background and why he is the reason why, because I am from a Muslim home, right? So that was my proper introduction to going to church. So every understanding of church I would have or understanding of the Bible was straight from him. But there's some things were weird to me, which is why I left. Now, first, when I started the church, 1 month in, we were doing competition like, oh, let's say Kotoka branch raised 20 million. So maybe Agbogbolosi branch raised 30 million. So we have to pass them. Hey, why do we have to pass them? For what? Like, I don't even understand. We were like, that was like, I wasn't understanding why we have to pass another church. Like we actually went for this type of, I don't know what it is, where other branches will come and say, okay, we raised this, we raised that, we raised this. Me, I don't know where the money was going to, but people in the church found delight in passing other branches. So that was my first red flag. And then the preaching constantly became money, right? And I was the social media handler at a point, the Instagram social media handler at a point. So the money issue was one. The second thing was when I left the church because I saw something that was very, very horrible, and which is why he took me to the
Eti emaye yi na di asema betu dwa se omo de ade asofo na ye omo nti asore kokora enye omo akono me de ken lakuta wo hwe me kan asofo asem a na mobu ofu eti maye ma adweze asem we me mfama no metum eti se me ka se asofo na ye bibi da bi me nka saa na sama ye be ka wo nsem nyina wie ye no se maka jo se tempia ye wo mo ye from se spiritual taba wonu de ne sofo wonu ani na ne sofo butu oba so bon pam obesa asori aba be defend no ampa Christ Embassy Youth for no ye was spiritual taba asibom edu omo so aba defense omo ba be defend omo so ananka enyo sa akra de na sa asori ye church say wo sofo ni defend no wo ye papa wo ye boni o defend no media music Christianity as am no me nka biem yenkonkotie defense ministers a ye Christ Embassy Youth almost defense omo dia aba defend this of no.
Mabeland, I am highly disappointed in you for the degrading statements that you made about a certain church. Wankasan, you didn't go through the right processes of becoming a true Christian to have the intuition or the ability to comprehend that we Christians don't have the authority to judge or criticize the prophet and the church. It is only God that has that authority. Mabeland, you are a baby Christian. You don't have the intuition to comprehend Christian abilities and gimmicks. Let me explain to you for you to understand. No matter how powerful or anointed a man of God or a prophet is, listen, if the man of God prays for you and you the one receiving the miracle, you don't have enough faith, the miracle will never be solidified in your life. So if the guy went to the church and then they prayed for him and then he dropped his crutches and then he went back home with the same crutches, indicates clearly that the person doesn't have enough faith. Because if you have faith that I will not walk with the crutches anymore, it will not occur to you to even send the crutches back home, because you know you have already received your miracle. If you go to a certain church and they are doing something that is beyond your capabilities, there's an exit, there's a door, you can exit, right? If you go to a church, they are doing donations, they are doing offertory, they are paying monies and those kind of things, you can't do it. It is not compulsory. You can sit down and worship God. If they come to you, pay this amount of money, I don't have the money, they won't force you, they won't kill you. Sit down and worship your God. If they are overpressing you, just leave the church and go to another church. Members, not media, not some kasa, as though you are one of the 24 elders seated at the right hand side of God in heaven. You don't have any authority to go and criticize the prophet.
Nti eno na wote no ha no omo se omo de sofo no alata momo wonye ebone bia me de me ka kiro me say sa ayo sori na wudu gate na no anu o ma pa wutim no o ma yiwa adwene no omo de bible asem panyini wuti ho ye busa wasem aze na bible say e na ho ahwan say wo adwene na ngaza de o mfa nya adwuma no mubenya problem enti sofo Enoch minim say we ye fanboy we ye nko ba bia obekoso anu ayo mo me de me tufo fa wo ho adwene na nyankopon bo wo no wamfa asori anse otiri wo de adwene ene se otirim ubekọ asori na fanyansa to ho enye ne asofo ka bia na wo se wutie ya hwe sofo no nso se ni suban te say wo ye ne sa ebeboa aha ye info I will number 1 super duper host Ken Lakuta and I'm the breakdown nyina bro makra o.